watching CBS8 Mornings at 5.
A second shooting by federal agents leaves 2 people injured in Portland. Good morning. Thanks for starting off your Friday with us. I'm Eric Connors.
And I'm Netta Iranpour. Coming up here at 5 as anti-ICE protests spread around the country, what we're learning about the officer at the center of the initial deadly incident in Minneapolis. Also at 5, slowdowns at the San Ysidro Port of Entry as now a second phase of construction gets underway. What you need to know for your morning commute.
Plus at 5, moving on out, a bear that has been squatting in an Altadena basement for more than a month finally gets evicted.
That's a big bear. Okay, first we do want to get you all the info you need on this windy day,
I
right?
know the bear was causing trouble, but he was kind of cute. It was a fun story to follow. Hey, let's take a look at the forecast. We have seen an extension to our wind advisory. That wind advisory was set to expire yesterday. We had talked about how it would be very likely that we would see an extension. And what do you know? Through Sunday now at 1 p.m., those Santa Anas are getting breezy across the mountains and our inland valleys. You can see on our map here which ground it covers. It's that tan color on your screen, but the message here is the same regardless of where you are, even if you're out by the coast, which is to limit the amount of time you're spending out there. If you're particularly susceptible to really dry conditions, maybe just the dust in the atmosphere, you might notice your allergies kicking up a bit. The plus side to the forecast, though, if you do want to spend more time outside, is that we will have more sunshine. We will have more warmth with us. Temperatures are steadily climbing. Today, we're going for about 64 out by the coast. There are very few clouds out there, but you might notice a few passing by. Mountains are staying pretty mild in the 50s this afternoon, low 60s for the deserts too, and mid 60s out by the coast and inland. Coming up, we're going to talk more about what to expect through the upcoming weekend and what it looks like beyond that as we make our way toward a much drier and significantly warmer weather pattern. Eric and Etta, back to you.
We've got a lot to get to here. Developing overnight in Portland, 2 people are in the hospital this morning after being shot by federal agents. A senior law enforcement official says Customs and Border Patrol agents tried to stop a vehicle with a suspected Tren de Aragua gang member inside. During the stop, the vehicle began to drive away, striking an agent, according to the official. Shots were fired, hitting the vehicle. Department of Homeland Security described the incident as a defensive shot, but Portland's mayor says they're skeptical.
We know what the federal government says happened here. There was a time when we could take them at their word. That time is long past. Portland is not a training ground for militarized agents.
The shooting in Portland comes just a day after ICE agents killed a woman in Minneapolis. This morning, we're learning new details about the agent who fired the shot that killed 37-year-old Renee Good. CBS News says the agent, Jonathan David Ross, belonged to a specially trained tactical ICE unit based in Minneapolis. Ross has worked for ICE for about a decade. And during an ICE operation last summer in nearby St. Paul, video shows Ross being dragged by a suspect's car as they fled an attempted arrest. Court documents say his injuries required 33 stitches.
From Boston to Washington, D.C., Houston, and Chicago, anti-ICE protests are growing all around the nation. This as the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension says they were informed by the FBI that state prosecutors would no longer have access to the investigation, which started as a joint probe. San Diegans also took to the streets to voice their anger, their frustration. You see in this video right here, hundreds of protesters gathering downtown last night to protest forcefully but still peacefully against ICE agents. Protesters dispute the federal government's account of events, saying the shot that killed the 37-year-old mother of 3, Renee Good, was not in self-defense.
I'm blind, and I'm not stupid, so, what the heck?
She was not hurting anybody, threatening anybody. This is not an act of self-defense whatsoever. This was a senseless act of violence.
It doesn't matter what the situation was. It doesn't matter what she was doing. They're not supposed to be, their job isn't to kill people.
Get ICE out of our cities. You are not welcome here. We do not support this whatsoever.
Now, San Diego police tell us the department supports the constitutional right to peacefully assemble. We want to let you know now about this traffic impact alert this morning. Right now, second phase of a construction project right near the San Ysidro Port of Entry is underway.
Yeah, this could affect your plans as you're headed out the door here. Phase 1, which closed 6 lanes of the freeway, just wrapped up a couple of hours ago. CBS8's Chris Guerrero live in San Ysidro with this new closure. And this one, Chris, expected to last a few weeks.
Yeah, this one will last a little bit longer, but it's not quite as expansive as phase one. So the good news is phase one even ended a couple hours earlier than anticipated. It was supposed to technically be ending right now at this hour, but we got word sometime around 3:45, 4 o'clock that that's indeed when phase one lifted. So that gave some of those early morning commuters a bit more access there to some of the border crossing lanes. But with phase one, with phase one done, now comes phase two. So what's going to happen now from today all the way through January 23rd? Is that an inside lane on the southbound 5 will be closed. This is going to be in the center median near the border inspection area. Crews there will be removing speed humps, so they'll be working with temporary concrete barriers as well. Those will be replaced with permanent dividers. This is a $2.7 million project aimed to improve traffic flow, but also safety and security. Now, for those of you that go through the El Chaparral crossing, that remains open, but traffic merging into fewer lanes approaching the border, especially if you take the 5. Delays are most likely going to happen during peak travel time. So think about as we get here early into the morning, we see a lot of that traffic that is coming north from the border. So a lot of that southbound traffic in the afternoon will likely start to kind of pile up, if you will. CHP is urging drivers to plan ahead to allow for extra time, and they recommend using the Otay Mesa port of entry or public transit if possible. Now, they are saying that extra traffic enforcement will also be in place during this time on the U.S. side, so please drive carefully and make sure that you are aware of crews that will be working in the area. Eric and Netta.
Thank you very much, Chris, for that. This morning, we are learning San Diego Unified Schools will close for a day next month as teachers plan a strike. Many families got this email. This closure will happen Thursday, February 26th. The San Diego Educator Association voted to strike for that one day, pushing for higher pay and better support for special education teachers. Superintendent Fabi Bagula says they wanted to make the announcement early to give families time to make other arrangements for their children for that day. The makeup date for classes will be on March 9th, so that will no longer be a school day off.
This morning, we are learning about new evidence that could be presented at the Larry Miliete murder trial. He's accused of killing his wife, Maya, 5 years ago. Her body has never been found. In court yesterday, a judge ruled records from Maya's therapy sessions can be used. The records may end up being key evidence, as investigators claim the couple had a troubled marriage. The judge also briefly talked about the logistics of this high-profile case.
I will let you know, got an email from the newly appointed presiding judge saying, let's discuss the location of your trial.
Larry Miliete's legal team has requested to have the trial moved from Chula Vista or even out of San Diego County completely as they seek an unbiased jury pool. Well, it's mayor versus council this morning over parking fees. San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria now warning that any efforts to reverse paid parking at Balboa Park could have, quote, immediate and serious fiscal consequences, unquote. Right now, the city council considering a proposal that would suspend parking fees for San Diego residents for 1 month. In a memo released yesterday, Gloria said the city is in a bind because the 2026 budget already factored in paid parking as a revenue stream for the city. That budget estimates parking fees will generate $15.5 million for the city. Gloria noted he warned council last year not to rush implementing paid parking, but the city council went ahead with it anyway.
Meantime, a donor has offered to pay parking fees for employees at the San Diego Natural History Museum. The Downing Family Foundation says it's covering all parking costs for hourly staff and half the cost for salaried staff at the museum. It employs about 200 staff members and volunteers. However, staff still concerned about the parking costs for visitors. Coming up here at 6 o'clock, how much they say attendance has dropped already. They've already seen an impact. We have an update out of Altadena here. Take a look at this video. Yeah, pretty remarkable to see that, right? Small space, big bear. Right. California Department of Fish and Wildlife says a bear that had been living under a man's home for over a month is now gone. This bear weighs 550 pounds. The bear was seen squeezing into a crawl space under the man's home at the end of November, and wildlife experts believe the bear ended up there because of the Eaton fire. Biologists in December set a trap to try to get the bear out, but then they caught another bear instead.
Wow.
A volunteer from the nonprofit known as Bear League stepped in using paintballs to scare the bear away. The homeowner was ready for when it came back. He installed a new electric crawl space. The cover right there shocked the bear, so the bear did come back.
Yeah.
Why did you go back home? Because that's what the bear thought was home.
I think it was like olive oil instead of like paint in the balls, but that was enough to like
shock the bear.
Shock the bear out. And apparently the bear did some heating damage, so the homeowner couldn't have the heater on during all this too.
Yeah, it gets cold.
That's a big bear. I mean, it's going to cause some issues
They're
underneath.
hibernating right
That guy
now.
was furious, but did I love it? Absolutely.
Yeah, we loved the saga.
I was rooting for that bear to just have a permanent home under there.
Live there.
But
Hey,
exactly.
you got to pay rent in this town.
Honestly,
Right?
no one gets free
No,
bed down there.
no. Yeah.
Glad to hear. Hopefully, he's back out in the wild,
Right.
enjoying things.
Finding a new place to take naps.
Yeah, probably a little better scenery out there.
Got some
anyway.
fresh greenery too,
There you
right?
go. Yeah.
Plenty of rain. The entire state of California has seen over the last couple weeks. Really, in particular, the last week as a whole. What we're looking for outside is a clear start to the morning. That is a great start, right? You got a beautiful start there. Sunrise is at 6:52. Got about an hour and a half or so before we start to see some of those sunrise views coming into play. Sunset is coming at 5 p.m. We talked about this yesterday. Yesterday's sunset was 4:59. Tonight's 5 p.m. We're getting longer on our day length. So that means that as we move forward through the next couple months, we'll move through the 5 o'clock hour, then 6 p.m., then 7 p.m. I mean, we're at least moving in the right direction. Julian is going to be one of the windiest spots in the county today. Take a look at how intense those wind gusts get. We talked earlier about there being a wind advisory through Sunday now. It's been extended. And one of the reasons why is because we have wind gusts upwards of 40 and in some cases 50 miles per hour. As we get toward 11 a.m., take a look at how intense those gusts are. Sustained speeds all the way up to 33 miles per hour. So remember, those gusts are those quick, 2-3 second bursts of wind. Sustained speeds are the ones that stay steady when you watch the palm fronds and they're just flying steadily in the wind. Remember, they could easily fall to the ground. We could see some snapped tree limbs, of course, all usual for us. And these are Santa Ana winds because that wind is coming out of the east. So instead of coming from over the ocean, the cool, moist air, we're getting the warm, dry air from the east of us. It is 26 degrees right now out at Mount Laguna, 28 at Palomar Mountain, 36. Pretty chilly in Escondido to start off the morning. El Cajon is at 38 degrees and most of our coastal communities in the 40s. And that's because we've kicked those clouds away. But take a look at how much warmer our afternoon highs are going to start to get. Today, only mid-60s, but starting tomorrow, we're back in the 70s. And by early next week, we could even be in the low 80s. We'll have more details on what to expect. Take a little of a look beyond this going into the next 7 days or so, all in a few minutes. Back to you.
80s in January?
Right.
Take that. Sounds pretty good.
Pretty
Thank you. Coming up here, in a year that saw international students leaving colleges across the U.S., the UC system is bucking the trend. The new numbers just released.
Plus, one last ride for Governor Gavin Newsom, the plans he laid out for California in his final State of the State address.